I never thought I would find myself in a battle with my neighborhood HOA president, but here we are. My name is Daniel, and I have lived in Sycamore Heights for 5 years with my wife and our 2 children, Emma and Liam, ages 10 and 8. We moved here for the excellent schools and the well-maintained community, despite warnings about the strict homeowners association. The previous owners joked that the HOA president, Karen Whitfield, ran the neighborhood like her personal kingdom. I laughed it off as an exaggeration. I was wrong. For the first few years, we flew under Karen's radar. We maintained our lawn according to the 17-page landscaping guidelines. Never left our trash cans out past 6 o'clock p.m. on collection day, and kept our holiday decorations within the approved time frames. But everything changed when the school district adjusted the bus routes, placing a new stop right at the corner of my property. The first morning of the new school year, I walked Emma and Liam to the bus stop along with 5 other neighborhood children. We were all enjoying the crisp September air when a silver Mercedes SUV screeched to a halt beside us. The window rolled down, revealing Karen's perfectly coiffed blonde bob and permanent scowl. "Excuse me, but this is not an approved gathering area," she said, in a sharp tone that made the younger children step back. "You all need to disperse immediately." I stepped forward, keeping my voice calm and professional. "Good morning, Karen. This is the new school bus stop. The district sent out notices last month." Karen's eyes narrowed. "I received no such notice, and as HOA president, all community changes require my approval. These children are creating excess noise in a residential area before 8 o'clock a.m., which violates Section 12, Paragraph 4 of our community bylaws." I glanced at my watch. "The bus comes in 5 minutes. We'll be gone soon, but the kids need to catch their bus." "Not my problem," Karen replied with a dismissive wave of her manicured hand. "Move them elsewhere or face fines." The bus appeared around the corner, saving us from further confrontation. Karen drove away with the warning that this matter was not finished. I thought that might be the end of it, but by that afternoon, I found a violation notice taped to my front door, claiming organization of unauthorized gatherings with a $75 fine. That evening, I reviewed the HOA bylaws and discovered nothing prohibiting children from waiting at a district-designated bus stop. I wrote a polite email to the HOA board, citing the relevant school district documentation. The next morning, I arrived at the bus stop with a printed copy of both documents, anticipating Karen's return. Sure enough, her Mercedes appeared right on schedule. Karen emerged from her vehicle, this time, tablet in hand. Wearing what I can only describe as business casual battle armor, a crisp beige pantsuit with shoulder pads that would make an 80 seconds power executive jealous. "I've documented yesterday's violation, and now you're accumulating a second offense, which doubles the fine," she said, with a smile that did not reach her eyes. I handed her the paperwork. "Actually, Karen, there is no bylaw against using a school district bus stop. I've also copied the board on these documents." Karen's smile vanished as she snatched the papers. "You think you're clever, don't you? This isn't about the bus stop. It's about respect for authority and procedures. You should have consulted me before agreeing to a bus stop on your property." "It's not on my property," I clarified. "It's on public property at the corner, and the school district doesn't need HOA approval for bus routes." "We'll see about that," Karen said in a tone that sent a chill down my spine. She turned to the children, who were watching our exchange with wide eyes. "And you all need to be quieter. Your voices carry into my home 3 blocks away, and I work from home on important business calls." The bus arrived, and the kids boarded quickly, clearly uncomfortable with Karen's presence. As they pulled away, Karen stepped closer to me. "This neighborhood was peaceful before your family moved in. Perhaps Sycamore Heights isn't the right fit for people like you." Before I could respond to what felt like a thinly veiled threat, she returned to her Mercedes and drove away. That afternoon, I received not 1, but 3 violation notices: improper lawn edging, unauthorized garden border stones, and most absurdly aggressive posturing in a community common area. I decided to attend the next HOA board meeting to address the situation directly. Karen seemed surprised to see me there, but quickly regained her composure. When I raised my concerns during the open forum, she dismissed them as one homeowner's attempt to circumvent established protocols. What shocked me was how the other board members deferred to her without question. It became clear this wasn't just about a bus stop Karen needed control, and I had challenged it. The next week brought escalating tensions. Karen began photographing my house daily, documenting alleged violations. She sent emails to other parents suggesting carpooling to a safer, approved location, rather than using our bus stop. Most disturbing was when I received a certified letter stating the HOA was considering legal action for creating a public nuisance and endangering community property values. Things took an even more serious turn the following Monday. I had an early meeting, so my wife took the kids to the bus stop. When she returned, she was visibly shaken. Apparently, Karen had approached the children while they waited and told them they were trespassing and could be removed by authorities if they did not leave. My 8-year-old son was in tears, afraid he would be arrested for waiting for his school bus. That crossed a line. I installed a small, unobtrusive security camera on my porch with a view of the bus stop well within my rights according to both state law and, ironically, the HOA bylaws that encourage security measures. The next morning, I stayed slightly back, letting my wife walk the kids to the stop while I monitored the live feed on my phone. Karen arrived like clockwork. This time, she approached the children directly while my wife was comforting a neighbor's kindergartner who had dropped her lunchbox. "This is your final warning," Karen said to the group of children in a stern voice. "You are not allowed to congregate here. I've called the authorities, and they will come and remove you if necessary. Your parents could face serious consequences." My son, still scared from yesterday, started crying. Emma, brave 10-year-old, spoke up. "But my dad said this is where the school told us to wait." Karen leaned down, her voice dropping to a threatening whisper that my camera's microphone still picked up clearly. "Your dad doesn't make the rules here. I do. And if you keep breaking them, bad things will happen. I know which house you live in." That was it. I called the non-emergency police line and explained the situation, including that an adult was threatening children at a bus stop. By the time I walked over, an officer was already speaking with my wife and Karen, who was in the middle of a dramatically different version of events. "These children have been vandalizing property and making excessive noise," she was saying, with a concerned expression that almost seemed genuine. As HOA president, it's my responsibility to maintain community standards. I approached calmly and introduced myself to the officer. "I believe this will clarify the situation," I said, showing him the video on my phone. The color drained from Karen's face as the officer watched her threatening children on video. "That's taken out of context," she sputtered. "And recording me is an invasion of privacy." "Ma'am, there's no expectation of privacy in a public area," the officer explained patiently. "And threatening children, regardless of context, is inappropriate." The officer separated us, took statements, and advised Karen to avoid the bus stop moving forward. I thought that would be the end of it, but Karen's campaign only intensified. She began driving by our house multiple times daily, taking photos, and even following my wife on errands. Violation notices arrived almost daily for increasingly absurd infractions. Improper mailbox flag positioning and unauthorized shade of white exterior trim. After 2 weeks of this escalating behavior, I documented everything and approached the police again to file a harassment complaint. The officer recognized the pattern and took my statement seriously. They advised me to seek a restraining order, which I did immediately. 3 days later, Karen violated that order by approaching my children at the bus stop again. This time, officers arrived while she was still berating the kids about proper community standards and how some people need to learn respect for rules. They escorted her to the patrol car while she protested loudly about her authority as HOA president. The consequences came swiftly after that. Karen was arrested for violating the restraining order and harassment. As she was being led away in handcuffs, her face contorted with disbelief. "You can't do this to me. Do you know who I am? I'm the president of this community." The officer responded calmly. "Ma'am, being an HOA president doesn't place you above the law. An emergency HOA board meeting was called that weekend, where Karen's behavior was finally addressed openly. Apparently, other homeowners had been experiencing similar harassment, but had been too intimidated to speak up. The board voted unanimously to remove her as president, effective immediately. The final blow came when Karen's employer, a real estate company specializing in high-end properties, placed her on unpaid leave, pending an investigation into her conduct. Her arrest had made the local news, complete with quotes from the police report about threatening children. "I saw Karen one last time before her court date, as she was collecting her belongings from the HOA office. Our eyes met briefly as I walked by with my kids." Her face flushed red with anger and humiliation. "This isn't over," she hissed. "You've destroyed everything I built here." "No, Karen," I replied calmly. "You did that yourself." The judge ordered Karen to pay a $5,000 fine, complete 40 hours of community service, and attend anger management classes. As the sentence was read, Karen's perfectly maintained facade finally cracked completely. She collapsed into her seat, mascara streaming down her face, mouth open in a silent scream of outrage as the reality of her situation finally sank in.